Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the deeply moving personal journey of star Maurice Benard as he shares a raw account of battling severe mental health challenges during a vulnerable period in his life. In a heartfelt solo episode of his popular podcast, State of Mind, the beloved actor who has portrayed the complex Sonny Corinthos for decades decided to turn the spotlight inward. Delivering a powerful tribute to the unbreakable bonds of true friendship amid crisis. Maurice, known for his empathetic interviews with fellow celebrities about their struggles, stripped away the format this time to confront his own harrowing experiences head-on. This candid revelation came at a moment when the lines between his on-screen turmoil and real-life battles blurred dangerously, offering fans a glimpse into the human side of their soap opera icon. The ordeal unfolded during a particularly isolating stretch when Maurice's devoted wife, Paula, and their son Joshua jetted off to Europe for a much-needed 2-week escape. Leaving him to navigate the quiet house alone, Paula and Joshua had long been his anchors, skilled at gently guiding him through the turbulent waves of bipolar episodes with their unwavering patience and understanding words. Without them, the absence felt like a void amplifying every shadow. Coinciding with this was Maurice's intense immersion in General Hospital's gripping storyline, where Sonny spirals into chaos after ditching his medications, mirroring the erratic behavior that Maurice was channeling on set daily. The pressure of embodying such raw instability seeped into his psyche, turning fiction into an unwelcome reality. As the days dragged on, a mounting wave of anxiety began to consume him, building like a storm on the horizon. Nights became battlegrounds. He jolted awake around 2 a.m., his body trembling uncontrollably, heart pounding as if escaping some unseen threat. Sleep, that elusive refuge, slipped further away with each restless hour, leaving him exhausted and on edge. Desperation drove him to seek help frantically. He cycled through appointment after appointment with doctors, therapists, and specialists, hopping from one office to the next in a frantic bid for relief. It was his insightful daughter, Kayla, who stepped in with the grounding plea, "Dad, pick one person and stick with them. Scattering your energy won't heal you." Her words cut through the fog, reminding him that consistency might be the key to reclaiming control. Maurice reflected on his history with manic highs that left him euphoric yet reckless, crushing depressions that pinned him down, and the relentless grip of anxiety. But this insomnia terrified him most. "Without rest, you're fighting with one hand tied behind your back," he shared, his voice laced with the weight of experience. He knew from past episodes that sleep deprivation could tip the scales toward disaster, eroding his ability to cope. In his quest for stability, a psychiatrist finally prescribed a medication meant to calm the storm, but the aftermath proved devastating. The very next morning, Maurice awoke in a fog of side effects, dizziness, nausea, and a deepened sense of disconnection that made the world feel alien. Overwhelmed, he turned to a close friend, someone who regularly checked in with genuine concern, asking not out of obligation, but true care, "How are you holding up today?" This lifeline prompted his friend to rally another mutual connection, who immediately began offering prayers and positive energy from afar. Though Maurice kept names veiled during the retelling, he later expressed profound gratitude to his General Hospital colleagues Steve Burton and Jonathan Jackson, whose quiet support became a beacon in the darkness. "The power of compassion is incredible," he marveled, "and those prayers, they wrapped around me like a shield, easing the isolation just enough to breathe." Undeterred yet wary, Maurice consulted yet another psychiatrist, hoping for a better fit. But the new prescription backfired spectacularly, intensifying the physical tremors and emotional whirlwinds. Disillusioned with the trial and error roulette of pharmaceuticals, he made the bold choice to pause all medications, cold turkey, a decision that demanded every ounce of his resilience. The withdrawal was brutal. Nights dissolved into endless hours of wakefulness, his body shaking as if chilled to the bone, rising at odd hours like 3 a.m. to pace the empty rooms. Fear of drifting off only worsened the cycle. He'd lie there, eyes wide open, dreading the vulnerability of unconsciousness, convinced it might unleash something uncontrollable. That shaking, the endless nights it was like my mind and body were at war, he recounted, painting a vivid picture of the internal siege. In those solitary moments, doubts crept in, whispering that he might never regain his footing. But Maurice clung to the belief that enduring the discomfort was preferable to the haze of unreliable treatments. One particularly grueling morning at the crack of dawn, with the house still shrouded in pre-dawn silence, Maurice picked up the phone and dialed a trusted confidant, pouring out his fears in a voice raw with exhaustion. This friend, none other than Vanessa Marcel, the actress who brought Sonny's passionate love interest Brenda Barrett to life on screen, listened without judgment for over 3 hours, her steady presence a lifeline pulling him from the brink. She didn't just offer words, she sprang into action, making urgent calls to secure an emergency appointment with a specialist who could provide immediate guidance. Their shared history on the show added layers to the bond. Vanessa understood the dual worlds of performance and personal fragility, making her support feel profoundly attuned. As the conversation wound down, Maurice felt a flicker of hope, a reminder that he wasn't navigating this alone. Yet the demands of his career loomed large, refusing to pause for his personal crisis. With production pressing forward, Maurice faced the stark reality of returning to the set after already taking 2 weeks off for health reasons. The storyline's momentum was unforgiving. Sonny's arc was at a fever pitch, and stepping away longer risked the role being handed to another actor, a prospect that chilled him. He praised General Hospital's executive producer, Frank Valentini, as a rare gem in the industry. Frank is the epitome of generosity and empathy, always prioritizing people over plots. With Valentini's understanding, Maurice eased back in, but the workload hit like a tidal wave. 8 full episodes squeezed into his first 2 days, each scene demanding the emotional depth he was barely mustering in real life. On set, he powered through the first day on sheer willpower, drawing from Sonny's own resilience to mask his fragility, but the facade cracked the moment he crossed the threshold home. Reunited with Paula and Joshua, who had just returned from their trip glowing with vacation memories, Maurice's pent-up torrent erupted. He collapsed into a chair, tears streaming as he unleashed a storm of self-doubt, ranting about his shortcomings as a father, his failures as a husband, the suffocating weight of mental health battles that spilled over onto his family. "I feel like such a burden, dragging you through my darkness. I'm sorry for making you endure this nightmare," he sobbed, his words tumbling out in a cathartic flood. The vulnerability hung heavy in the air until Joshua, with his trademark wit and warmth, broke the tension. "Dad, that was an epic monologue straight out of a soap opera scene. You nailed it." The light-hearted quip pierced the gloom, sparking the first genuine laugh in weeks and marking the turning point where healing began to take root. It underscored how humor, woven with love, can disarm even the deepest despair. Reflecting on the whirlwind, Maurice imparted timeless advice drawn from his trials, urging listeners to embrace emotional honesty as a pathway to freedom. Don't bottle it up, let the tears flow from your core. Shout your truths if you must. Releasing that pressure is liberating, even if it feels messy in the moment. He emphasized that whatever inner demons we face, be it self-doubt, overwhelming odds, or the illusion of weakness voicing them, diminishes their power. "I've told myself I can't more times than I can count, but pushing forward proves otherwise every single time. You're tougher than your fears suggest. Just keep stepping ahead, one breath at a time." This philosophy, born from fire, resonates a universal call to resilience, reminding us that vulnerability in defeat but the first step toward strength. Next, we will learn about the explosive revelations unfolding during Monica Quartermain's will reading, set to shake the foundations of the Quartermain dynasty in Port Charles from October 6th through the 10th. As the Quartermain family gathers in the grand, echoing halls of their iconic mansion for what promises to be a ceremony filled with tension and hidden agendas, few could anticipate the bombshell that awaits them. Monica, the steadfast matriarch whose life wove seamlessly into the fabric of this powerful clan, has left behind a legacy laced with secrets long buried in the shadows of her past. The reading, presided over by a solemn attorney amidst the opulent surroundings of crystal chandeliers and antique furnishings. We'll introduce a mysterious figure named Ronnie, revealed as Monica's long-lost biological sister, Veronica Bard. This revelation will stun attendees like Ned, Michael, and even the ever-scheming Tracy, who has long viewed the mansion as her unchallenged domain. Veronica, a poised woman in her later years with sharp features and a quiet intensity that mirrors Monica's own resilience, steps into the spotlight carrying the weight of decades unspoken. The family, accustomed to their intricate web of alliances and betrayals, will grapple with the shock of discovering that Monica harbored this sibling connection, a detail she guarded fiercely throughout her tenure in Port Charles. At the heart of this twist lies the cunning machinations of Martin Gray, the silver-tongued lawyer whose sudden reappearance after months of absence from the canvas raises more than a few eyebrows. Martin, with his impeccable suits and calculating gaze, has a history of navigating the gray areas of the law, and spoilers hint that he's pulling strings to engineer a grand deception. By aligning himself with Veronica, Martin could be plotting to funnel the sprawling Quartermain estate complete with its manicured gardens, private library, and vaulted ceilings directly into her hands, effectively evicting the current residents. This move reeks of calculated vengeance against Tracy Quartermain, whose sharp tongue and relentless ambition have crossed paths with Martin in the past, leaving old wounds festering. Imagine Tracy's face, usually etched with smug confidence, contorting in outrage as the will's clauses unfold, stripping her of the home she's dominated for generations. Martin's return feels orchestrated, timed precisely with the reading, perhaps fueled by a personal grudge from a botched deal or slight during his last stint in town. His involvement adds layers of intrigue, suggesting backroom deals, forged documents, or whispered alliances that could unravel the Quartermain empire from within. Delving deeper into Monica's enigmatic backstory, it's crucial to revisit the circumstances that forged her path to Port Charles. Adopted as a young child by the compassionate Gail Baldwin, Monica grew up in a nurturing environment that shielded her from the harsh realities of her origins. She entered the Quartermain fold through her marriage to the charismatic Alan Quartermain, who not only won her heart but gifted her the majestic mansion as a symbol of their enduring bond, a sprawling estate that became the heartbeat of family gatherings, heated arguments, and whispered confidences. Yet, unbeknownst to most, Monica and Veronica shared a tragic childhood rift. As siblings thrust into the unforgiving foster care system after their parents' untimely loss, they were torn apart like leaves in a storm, placed in separate homes that spanned states and stifled any chance of reunion. Veronica, often called Ronnie in intimate circles, endured a nomadic youth marked by instability, fostering a steely independence that propelled her into a quiet life far from the spotlight. Years later, driven by a longing to mend the fracture, Ronnie reached out to Monica with tentative letters and calls, hoping to bridge the gap. Monica, overwhelmed by her burgeoning career, a doctor, and the demands of Quartermain life, rebuffed the overture, citing the chaos it might bring to her carefully constructed world. The rejection stung Veronica deeply, leaving her to rebuild her sense of family through adopted communities and personal triumphs. But time has a way of softening edges. Monica, in her final year, initiated a secret correspondence, exchanging stories of lost childhoods and shared dreams, forging a bond that death couldn't sever. The will's intricate provisions will unfold like a meticulously scripted drama, blending sentiment with shock to captivate viewers. Veronica's inheritance begins modestly with one of Monica's most treasured heirlooms, a delicate silver locket, engraved with swirling initials and holding a faded sepia photograph of the two girls, arms linked in innocent joy before the foster system's cruelty intervened. The locket, passed down through Monica's private collection, symbolizes the unbreakable thread of sisterhood that persisted despite the years of silence. Tracy, ever the opportunist, smirks at this token gesture, convinced it's the extent of Veronica's windfall and that the bulk of assets will flow to proven Quartermains like herself. But the true thunderclap comes next, Monica's heartfelt directive bestows the entire Quartermain mansion and its expansive grounds encompassing lush orchards, a private pond, and historic outbuildings upon the cherished sister of my heart, Veronica Bard. This clause, penned in Monica's elegant script, reveals her profound regret for the lost time and a desire to honor the family blood she once denied. The room will erupt in gasps and accusations, with family members dissecting the language for loopholes, while Veronica stands composed, her eyes glistening with a mix of vindication and sorrow. Suspicions swirl around Martin's role, painting him as the shadowy architect of this upheaval. His opportune timing re-emerging just as the will is unsealed hints at deeper involvement, perhaps coaching Veronica on legal nuances or fabricating ties to bolster her claim. Port Charles buzzes with whispers of foul play, from altered documents hidden in safe deposit boxes to anonymous tips leaked to the press, all designed to catch Tracy off guard. Tracy, whose history with family betrayals runs deep, won't yield easily. Her fury will ignite a legal counteroffensive, summoning top-tier attorneys from New York firms to challenge Veronica's legitimacy. Picture heated boardroom clashes where experts pore over birth records, DNA traces, and Monica's private journals, uncovering fabricated narratives or genuine oversights that could sway the courts. Adding a delicious layer of irony to Tracy's predicament is her paltry bequest, a single, unassuming jar of Leela Quartermain's famed pickle relish, preserved with the same tangy recipe that once graced family picnics. This quirky item, a nod to Leela's homemaking legacy, echoes infamous episode from GH's storied past when Edward Quartermain orchestrated a similar slight. In 1980, Edward, the iron-fisted patriarch, tested Tracy's loyalty during a staged heart attack in the very same mansion, feigning agony on the Persian rug. He begged for his medication, dangling the promise of inclusion in his will. Tracy, blinded by greed, withheld aid until Edward capitulated, a ploy that exposed her ruthless core and resulted in her exclusion, capped by that very jar of relish, a mocking consolation. Fans still revere this scene for its raw intensity, with Edward's booming voice and Tracy's icy retort etched in soap lore. Now, decades later, history repeats in a cruel twist, fueling Tracy's resolve to contest the will tooth and nail, vowing not to be twice humiliated by Quartermain whims. The week ahead brims with potential for escalating drama as inheritances are doled out. Perhaps Brooke Lynn receives a vintage jewelry collection tied to her musical aspirations, or Drew uncovers a stock portfolio linked to ELQ's future. Veronica's integration into the fold could spark alliances, like a tentative rapport with Olivia, or rivalries that pit newcomers against old guard. Martin's scam, if exposed, might unravel in courtroom spectacles or midnight confrontations, blending legal thriller elements with the show's hallmark romance and redemption arcs. Tracy's fight promises fireworks. She rallies supporters, dig into Veronica's past for dirt like rumored connections to shady Foster alumni or fabricated identities, and launch a media blitz to sway public opinion. Yet, beneath the scheming, the will-reading honors Monica's complexity, a woman who healed others while nursing her own fractures, inviting reflections on family, forgiveness, and the enduring pull of blood ties. Viewers are in for a roller coaster of soapy indulgence, with betrayals, tearful revelations, and power plays that redefine the Quartermain legacy. Will Veronica claim her rightful place, or will Tracy's tenacity prevail? How might this upheaval ripple through Port Charles, affecting romances like those of Sasha and Cody or corporate battles at ELQ? Tune in to witness the chaos unfold and share your predictions. Do you think Martin's scheme will succeed? Or is Tracy poised for another Quartermain comeback? Next, we will learn about the sizzling tensions brewing in Port Charles as 5 electrifying pairings edge closer to passionate collisions that could redefine relationships across the board. The air in Port Charles crackles with anticipation as Britt Westburn's dramatic return to General Hospital sets the stage for a reunion that's equal parts magnetic and menacing. Since stepping back into the fray with her signature blend of sharp wit and guarded vulnerability, Britt has been inexorably drawn toward Jason Morgan, the stoic enforcer whose world-weary charm has always tested her defenses. Her internal battle rages on. Will she suppress the flicker of desire that reignites every time their paths cross in the dimly lit corridors of the hospital or the shadowy back alleys of the waterfront? Deep down, Britt knows the risks. Her history with Jason, in just a fleeting spark, but a full-blown inferno that once consumed them both during stolen nights amid high-stakes chases and whispered confessions. Yet, as she navigates the web of her own deceptions, secrets tied to her family's shadowy legacy, and lingering ties to figures like her scheming mother Liesel, Britt finds herself softening, her resolve crumbling under Jason's unwavering gaze. Picture the scene: a late-night confrontation in the Quartermain boathouse, rain pounding outside as old flames flicker back to life, leading to an embrace that's inevitable as it is explosive. But longevity looms as the real wild card. Jason's unyielding loyalty to Sonny and his code could clash with Britt's hidden agendas, potentially unraveling their liaison before it fully ignites. Will Jason's instincts pierce through her facade, unearthing the truths she's buried, or will blind passion lead him down a path of betrayal once more? Meanwhile, across town in the opulent yet treacherous realm of organized power plays, Sonny Corinthos and Assistant District Attorney Justine Turner are dancing a delicate tango of deceit and desire that hints at something profoundly genuine emerging from the chaos. Their interactions, laced with calculated maneuvers, Justine probing Sonny's empire for leverage, while he counters with his trademark charisma, have evolved beyond mere gamesmanship into a tentative trust that simmers with unspoken heat. As they share tense strategy sessions in dimly lit diners or secluded park benches, the barriers begin to erode, paving the way for an intimate moment that could seal their unlikely alliance. Sonny, the seasoned kingpin who's weathered storms from rival syndicates to personal vendettas, has a storied track record with women in the justice system, each romance a volatile mix of adrenaline and affection. Recall his scorching affair with federal prosecutor Claire Walsh, where courtroom battles spilled into bedroom trysts, their passion fueled by the thrill of forbidden territory. Or his intense connection with Reese Marshall, the sharp-minded attorney and ex-FBI operative whose investigative prowess matched his street smarts, leading to nights of raw vulnerability amid stackouts and close calls. With Justine, the chemistry builds on similar foundations, but adds layers of mutual respect, her no-nonsense demeanor complementing his protective instincts. Envision a pivotal evening where a shared bottle of aged scotch loosens tongues and inhibitions, transforming professional sparring into a heartfelt surrender. Yet, the complexities persist. Her oath to uphold the law versus his shadowy operations could erupt into conflict, testing whether this spark blossoms into enduring fire or fizzles under scrutiny. In the youthful vibrancy of Port Charles' next generation, Giovanni Gio Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake are savoring the sweet afterglow of their inaugural kiss, a tender milestone that propels them toward deeper intimacies with measured grace. That electric moment, perhaps under the twinkling lights of the annual nurses' ball or during a quiet walk along the harbor, has ignited a slow-burning romance, allowing them to explore each other's worlds without rushing the sacred steps. Gio, the newcomer with ties to the influential Quartermain lineage through his mother Brooklyn's connections, brings a fresh energy tempered by family pressures. From navigating ELQ boardroom whispers to reconciling his artistic soul with corporate expectations, Emma, the poised daughter of legendary spies Robin Scorpio and Patrick Drake, carries her own burdens, including a simmering resentment toward Britt's disruptive presence, which dredges up memories of family fractures and medical uncertainties. Their courtship unfolds organically, stolen glances during community events, heartfelt conversations about dreams over coffee at Kelly's Diner, and supportive gestures like Gio sketching Emma's portrait or her offering insights into his musical aspirations. As they confide in one another, Gio sharing vulnerabilities about his outsider status, Emma venting frustrations over the britches meddling, they fall harder, building a foundation of emotional intimacy that primes them for physical closeness. Anticipate a romantic progression in a serene setting, such as a picnic in the park where autumn leaves swirl around them, culminating in a decision to advance their bond when the timing feels right. Though external hurdles like Quartermain intrigues or Emma's family dynamics may slow their pace, this pair's genuine affection promises a heartfelt union that strengthens with every shared laugh and lingering touch. Over at the rustic edges of the Corinthos-sphere, Molly Lansing Davis finds herself irresistibly pulled into the orbit of Cody Bell, the rugged stable hand whose easygoing allure and roguish grin mask a depth that resonates with her spirited nature. Molly, the ambitious lawyer with a firebrand edge inherited from her Davis lineage, can't deny the magnetic tug whenever Cody's around, whether he's tending to the horses at the Quartermain stables or flashing that knowing smile during casual encounters at the Metro Court. Cody, in turn, wears his affection opally small acts like offering her a hand up onto a horse or sharing tales of his rodeo past that hint at a cowboy heart yearning for connection. Their chemistry crackles with playful banter and stolen moments, but obstacles lurk. Molly's committed relationship strains under the weight of unspoken doubts, while Cody grapples with his own secretive history tied to Max Scorpio's investigations. Still, the pull intensifies, making an impassioned rendezvous seem imminent, perhaps in the hay-scented warmth of the stables under a starry sky, where Molly's fascination with the untamed cowboy life overrides caution. As they spend more time together joining group outings to the track or late-night rides along the cliffs, their bond becomes impossible to ignore, drawing raised eyebrows from loved ones like Christina or Dana, who sense the brewing storm. This duo's allure lies in its raw authenticity. Molly's polished world colliding with Cody's earthy simplicity could forge a transformative romance, provided they confront the barriers head-on and embrace the adventure. Finally, in the intricate undercurrents of alibi forging and mutual support, Jacinda Bracken and Michael Corinthos are cultivating a bond that transcends necessity, blossoming into a friendship laced with potent undercurrents of romance. Their collaboration crafting airtight stories to shield one another from prying eyes in the wake of recent scandals has fostered an unexpected closeness, marked by late-night strategy huddles in Michael's office or quiet drives through the countryside. Jacinda, the resilient operative with a mysterious past in undercover work, brings a fierce loyalty that mirrors Michael's own protective drive, while he offers her a glimpse into the high-stakes Corinthos Quartermain world. The sparks fly subtly at first, a shared laugh over a close call, an appreciative glance during tense debriefs, building to a chemistry that's undeniable and increasingly electric. Michael's history echoes this pattern. His first love, Abby Haver, was another woman immersed in gritty fieldwork. Their youthful passion cut tragically short when a construction site crane mishap claimed her life, leaving him with scars that fuel his cautious heart. With Jacinda, echoes of that intensity resurface, promising a deeper evolution, perhaps a charged evening where alibis give way to confessions, igniting a flame in the seclusion of a safe house. As their alliance deepens, so does the potential for scandal, with Willow or Carly picking up on the vibes and urging caution. Yet, this pairing's strength lies in its evolution from convenience to conviction, hinting at a romance that could anchor Michael amid his empire's turbulence. ABC General Hospital is primed for a whirlwind of romantic upheavals and steamy developments that will keep fans glued to their screens, blending heartfelt connections with the signature twists that make Port Charles endlessly captivating. Stay tuned as these encounters unfold, potentially reshaping alliances, igniting jealousies, and unveiling hidden desires. Who among these pairs will surrender first, and what fallout awaits?